evening and a warm welcome. We are broadcasting tonight from Mumbai, where there seems to be a triumph of audacity. Now when the exit poll results are out, it seems as if the BJP had planned it down to the T. But when Narendra Modi and Amit Shah together took the decision to sever ties with the Shiv Sena, it wasn't quite as certain as it seems now. Narendra Modi establishing very firmly that the Modi effect still runs strong. The BJP emerging from virtually nowhere, both in Haryana and in Maharashtra, to emerge, according to the various exit polls, as the single largest party. On center stage tonight, we'll be going across live to Nagpur, and joining us from there will be Devinder Fadnavis, touted by the BJP and the RSS as the most probable next chief minister of Maharashtra. If he does get to sit in Mantralaya, what will Devinder Fadnavis's plans be? This will be his first television interview to an English news channel after the exit poll results have come out. Listen to Devinder Fadnavis. We'll also have guests representing each of the major political parties, and we'll take you through the India Today Cicero exit poll results and also compare this with the exit poll results put out by today's Chanakya, by Nielsen and by C-Voter. Let's get started. These are the stories that have made the headlines this evening. The India Today Cicero exit poll projects a big lead for the BJP in Maharashtra. BJP set to emerge as the single largest party but could fall short of a clear majority. The Maha split of allies works against the Congress and the NCP. Both parties set to lose a big chunk of seats as per the India Today Cicero exit poll. Team Modi's next big challenge will be the hunt for allies. Who will fill Shiv Sena's void in the now defunct Mahayuti if the numbers were to fall short? Clear Modi wave in Haryana. All polls indicate at least a single largest party status for the BJP as Haryana voted for change with a record 73% turnout. Disturbing racism in Bangalore. Youth from Manipur attacked after being heckled for not speaking Kannada. Miscreants arrested. The police are investigating the matter. Ceasefire violations continue along the line of control in Poonch sector. Army also foils a terror attack in which infiltrating terrorists attempted to set off an improvised explosive device. Let me take you through first the results of the various exit polls that have been put out this evening, tracking Maharashtra and Haryana. Let's start with Maharashtra. We'll of course put out first the India Today Cicero exit poll rankings. Here is the seat share according to India Today Cicero. The BJP projected to end up between 117 to 131. The Shiv Sena between 66 and 76. The Congress between 30 and 40. The NCP between 24 and 34. The MNS between 4 and 10. And the others between 18 and 26. But the big story there, the BJP, which was at 46 seats, now projected to more than double its tally, bringing it very close to the 144 magic figure, up at least 78 seats from last time. Remember, the BJP didn't even contest in 160 seats in the last elections. This is a major swing in fortunes for the Bharatiya Janata Party if these numbers were to be proven correct. Let's also take a look at today's Chanakya. Today's Chanakya is important because they're the pollsters who got the Delhi exit poll numbers right. They also got the Lok Sabha figures closer than most others. Today's Chanakya is projecting that the BJP, along with its smaller allies, will end up at 151. Today's Chanakya, in fact, projects that the BJP will cross the majority figure of 144. The Shiv Sena, today's Chanakya believes, could end up at 71. The Congress at 27, the NCP at 28, the MNS at 11. Let's also take you through the Nielsen figures. This is AC Nielsen, one of the most reputed polling agencies in the country. They too project that the BJP could end up very close to the majority mark of 144. The Shiv Sena, they say, will be at 77. The Congress at 30. The NCP at 29. The MNS at 3. Others with 5. So once again, like today's Chanakya, Nielsen too suggesting that the BJP and its smaller allies could end up very close to the majority mark by themselves. Then there is the sea voter projection. Sea voter, Yashwant Deshmukh projects that the BJP and its smaller allies could end up with 138 seats, just 6 short of a full majority. The Shiv Sena at 59, the Congress at 41, the NCP at 30, the MNS at 12, others at 8. Once again, the BJP very close to the full majority mark. This is as far as Maharashtra is concerned. Let's now bring in some reactions. Shaina NC from the Bharatiya Janata Party, Majid Memon from the NCP. Joining us on this broadcast with me here in our Andheri studios is Siddharth Bhatia. And we've got headlines today's Mumbai Bureau Chief Sahil Joshi, who's been speaking to a whole bunch of politicians trying to get their reaction to this poll. I'll start with you, Sahil. All these poll projections seem to suggest that the BJP is through. Whether it ends up ahead of 144 or just slightly short is now only of academic interest. The BJP is set to form the next government in Maharashtra, it seems.
Absolutely. In fact, the India Today and Cicero survey has given only 124 seats to only BJP. The other factors where the BJP's 4 allies are also involved and included in those others. So basically, even that survey takes BJP closer to the majority. So it's clear that the BJP is going to form the next government.
But Siddharth Bhatia, what this poll indicates is very interesting, that in the last few days, there seems to have been a bit of a turnaround in the Shiv Sena's fortunes, with voters consolidating, maybe because of sympathy, because they were crying betrayal. It's a 1 and 2 race between the BJP and the Shiv Sena. What are you making of these poll results?
You know, I have a couple of takeaways. One is, of course, the stupendous performance of the BJP, if this is indeed true. 65 was their best ever, and now this. To an organization, a party which has very, very poor organization in the states and a dearth of candidates.
Okay, I want to go across to Pankaja Munde, Gopinath Munde's daughter. She's joining us on this broadcast. She's been one of the party's star campaigners in Bid and elsewhere. Pankaja, what are you making of the exit poll numbers, which seem to suggest that your party is in pole position?
Yes, I'm very much confident that we'll get clear majority and we'll form the government after 19th. I'm very much sure about that.
What's your sense of how the polling went? It seems the exit polls are suggesting that over the last 10 days, the sympathy factor seemed to have worked to some extent, at least for the Shiv Sena, with voters consolidating. While the BJP is still way in front, it isn't as if they've run away with this election. It's not a 170, 200 that the BJP could have been expecting. It's still very close to the full majority mark, but not as decisive as some in the BJP would have wanted.
Hello? I couldn't get your
yes,
question.
Pankaja.
There's no clarity about
Pankaja, the exit poll seems to suggest that over the last few days, there's been a bit of a consolidation in favor of the Shiv Sena. The Shiv Sena, instead of declining, has actually bounced back a bit in the last few days. The BJP is still way in front, but it's not as if the BJP has run away with these elections.
No, I am very much confident we'll get that clear majority, and there is no consolidation of vote for Shiv Sena for sure. Whatever votes we are getting is going to be on the agenda of development and our agenda of forming government under leadership of Narendra Modi. So I'm very much confident about it.
Sahil Joshi has a question for you, Pankaj.
Sahil Joshi, I want to ask you one question. That
Yes?
before the elections, you had said that if the party gives you a chance, it is likely that you will be mediator between Shiv Sena and BJP. So do you think that will you still try to build up the gap between Shiv Sena and BJP if you need Shiv Sena to form the government?
Yeah, I was asked that whether I will be able to bridge the gap between Shiv Sena and BJP. So I answered, if party asks me to do so, I will definitely do so. But right now I feel we'll get clear majority, so we may not like to have any more support from other parties. But if at all this kind of situation arises, and if party demands me to take a step, I will definitely do that.
Pankaja Munde, you are a dark horse for the post of Chief Minister. Yours is one of the names being suggested. How do you view your own chance of ending up as Chief Minister of Maharashtra?
See, I never aspired, I never thought of CMship and worked all my life. And now after my dad's demise, I was under a lot of stress and emotional trauma. But still I thought of gathering all that support which he had given to party and gave back to the party. And I really contributed to make CM of this party. My party, I always wanted to have a clear majority. So I'm not sure whether I am myself not striving to be a CM. But if I don't know what the party wants me to become, if party orders me, I don't know, I will of course say yes if party orders me. So.
Pankaja, this is Sahil again. I want to ask you that your father was a OBC face of BJP in Maharashtra. He is undoubtedly the popular leader of Maharashtra from BJP. Whom, according to you, is the best choice to become the Chief Minister of Maharashtra as the polls are showing that the BJP is likely to get the majority here? Whom, according to you, is the better choice? There is Nitin Gadkari, there is Devendra Fadnavis, there is Vinod Tawde, Eknath Khadse. Whom, according to you, is the better choice to become the Chief Minister?
See, I am not the authority to decide who will be the better choice. But if you ask me, we all in the core committee have a similar amount of response from people and tremendous love from people. And they also want us to have that...
Yes, go ahead.
who's better than other. So they all are quite eligible for CM.
That's interesting. Pankaja Munde being very diplomatic there, but also saying that if the opportunity were to come her way and the party were to ask her to don the mantle of chief ministership, it is not a possibility that she's ruling out. Pankaja Munde, for joining us tonight with your thoughts from Beat. Thank you very much. It's very interesting though that wherever we travel, we saw a groundswell of support and sympathy for Pankaja Munde. She probably is amongst BJP workers today. BJP supporters, the most popular choice because of her father's legacy, of course, the most popular leader, far more than some of the others who will probably have a better chance of becoming Chief Minister than Pankaja herself. I want to introduce our other guests also, Bharat Kumar Raut, former Shiv Sena Member of Parliament, senior journalist. With us, Majid Memon from the NCP, Shaina NC from the BJP. I go across to Bharat Raut first. Sir, what are you making of the exit poll numbers? The Shiv Sena coming in at number 2. This is probably the first time where we'll have a Hindutva party at number 1 and a Hindutva party at number 2. What are you making of these projections, sir?
See, going by the exit poll verdict, I think that seems to be near unanimous and decisive as far as BJP is concerned. Everybody, there is unanimity that BJP has a solid number 1 position and most likely it will form the government on its own. Having said that, let us also look at the historical change in the whole situation. Maharashtra has always been a centrally driven party. It never had any big ism in the state. We never nurtured communism. We never nurtured capitalism. We also have all religions here. So first time a right-winger, absolute right-winger party, declared right-winger party at the helm of the affairs, followed by Shiva Sena, which is also right-winger. The funny situation, if this verdict is clear, then the funny situation would be somebody from Shiva Sena, mostly Subhash Desai, will be the leader of opposition, that will be the chief opposition party, and Subhash Desai will be the leader of opposition, and men like Ajit Pawar and Prithviraj Chavan, they will be sitting besides him. So that will be the very funny situation in Maharashtra. But I give
no,
it
but
to
that's true.
Modi.
The Congress lost the leader of the opposition post in Delhi. They've now lost the leader of the opposition post probably in Maharashtra and also in Haryana. And what a blow that is. Majid Memon, BJP number 1, Shiv Sena number 2. The Congress and the NCP bunched up right at the bottom of the pile. It seems this is a big blow for so-called secular forces. Indian polity is turning right. And if May was a first step in that direction, today seems to herald something which we haven't seen so far. Hindutva forces, right-wing forces, number 1 and number 2.
Well, let me tell you, Rahul, that today we are discussing on the basis of certain predictions by these polls, the exit polls. I think it would be better if we would discuss all these issues more seriously after the actual results are in front of us on the 19th evening. Be that as it may, let us take it that this is the situation. I must tell you that this is a passing phase. If the two Hindutva parties have landed up at the top of the ladder, number one and number two, and the secular parties have to go into their shells at serial number 3 and 4 as your survey projects. And I don't think it is a reason to be discouraged or reason to worry about the secular characteristic of this country. This is a passing phase. Maybe that the mandate, the people of this Maharashtra state thought that anti-incumbency displeasure with regard to the functioning of the government has shown its results, and therefore they would sit in the opposition, as rightly said by Mr. Raut, that well, we together would formulate a very formidable opposition for BJP if that situation arises. But let me tell you one more thing, Rahul, that this is a wave, this is air. Now any wave, getting several members into the house and constituting the majority in the house is not a good indication for a healthy society, because there will be no stability. Modi wave in even Lok Sabha election is yet to be tasted, because we have found almost 200 members of parliament who have just come into the house.
I'm surprised that you say, because they ended up with 282 seats in the Lok Sabha. They could end up very close to a majority in Maharashtra, more than a majority in Haryana. What else do you want to accept that there is a Modi wave? Without a chief ministerial candidate, they've crushed your party and the Congress.
No, correct. I admit that there is a wave, and this is a result of the wave, but this is not a healthy thing for the good Loktantra, for good democracy. Because we have yet to test 200 odd Lok Sabha members.
Majid Memon says that there is too much of a Modi wave, that this hasn't been tested enough. The BJP, on a more serious note, putting all its eggs in the Narendra Modi basket. He says that's not good for democracy, that's not good for India.
In Maharashtra, minus Modi, there was nothing.
Yes, Shaina.
Mr. Memon is a superb lawyer, but I sense his anxiety and insecurity vis-a-vis Mr. Narendra Modi, which is apparent. Rahul, let me please tell you, people of this state were fed up with the corrupt Congress and NCP misgovernance. 15 years to give this consortium, and I call them a consortium because of the amount of corruption they have done in the state, a mandate. People have realized the only way out is a progressive, good governance, stable government. You have it in the center, we've given it in the state.
No, but Majid Memon makes a more important point when he says that all the eggs for the BJP are in the Modi basket. If Modi clicks, the BJP succeeds. The BJP today, a one-man army.
I am coming to that. Amit Shah is an organizational maverick. The way he has put systems into place, one needs to give it to him. There are so many constituencies where we had never even fought. Despite that, to get the cadre charged through the inspiration of Modi ji, the organization of Amit Shah, and the leadership in Maharashtra, whether it's Devendra Fadnavis, Pankaja, Vinod Taude, Sudhir Mungantiwar, Eknath Khadse, it has all worked fabulously well. And I think that this is not just a historic election because people have made a clear mandate, but because they've realized that unless they think about the ways to get rid of unemployment, infrastructure projects on track, ensure that farmer suicides are brought in control, there is some kind of transparency vis-a-vis systems, good credibility in leadership, you will have the public of this state absolutely giving this decisive mandate. And I've heard today on multiple channels that is the voter confused. The voter is too intelligent, he's not confused, he's decided.
No, the pundits were confused. The pundits said it's an unpredictable election, but the voters don't seem to have had any confusion in their mind. They seem to have voted quite decisively in favor of the Bharatiya Janata Party if the exit poll numbers are to be believed. We're slipping into a quick break. When we come back, we'll go across live to Nagpur, and joining us from there will be Devendra Fadnavis, blue-eyed boy of the RSS, a very close associate of Amit Shah, favorite with Narendra Modi, touted tonight to be the next Chief Minister of India's most influential and richest state. We'll have Devendra Fadnavis live with us